I had the opportunity of traveling a little bit. And when you go down a product rabbit hole and you're like, oh, this works. And oh, if I had one of these, maybe this would work too. And so that's what I started to do with Anker products. And I have some of them laid out here today because I ordered a couple more, taking advantage of some deals towards the end of the year. And I was recently traveling to Phoenix and I told a friend of mine about a battery bank, and he ordered one as well and fell in love with it. So I wanted to share with you some Anker products that I recently acquired and how they fit into my life, or at least what I'm doing. And maybe this would help you as well because they're really cranking out some innovative products. We'll start with the simple ones. So we've all had these phone charger or MagSafe chargers, right? They fit onto the back of your phone and they're really slim and they do a good job with charging, but they don't last very long. This is an older Anker that I've had and it works great, but if you need an emergency battery pack, this is perfect. But what if you needed something a bit bigger? They came out with this beast. This one's kind of cool because it has a display on it, and the display will show you the battery percentage that's in here. It'll also show you when you connect it to your phone, how fast the phone is charging. This is great when you are just burning through your cell phone battery and you know you need to charge it. This charges really fast. It's 15 watt as far as the speed in which it will charge up to. And it's a 10,000 milliwatt amp hour battery. So this will give you a lot more than what this will give you. So that was the first thing. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty easy. And then when you travel, you are carrying a bunch of little chargers with you or little brick chargers. So then I bought this one. And this is a 3-port USB charger. Now, the nice thing about this one is it also has a display on it, but this will charge up to 160 watts. So it's a great fast charger. It's compact. Any single port can do up to 140 watts. It'll charge a laptop. It'll charge iPhones, iPads, anything you want charged fast. So I plugged this into my iPad that I'm cheating off of in front of me here. And that charges this thing within, I don't know, less than a half hour to 100%. I keep one of these here in the kitchen. I also bought another one that I carry in my travel bag. If I know I'm traveling, I'll put 2 in my travel bag. If you're in a hotel, you want something next to the bed and maybe something near the desk area or credenza area, you can plug one of these in and plug all your stuff into it. I try not to plug my USB devices into hotel USB outlets. That creeps me out for some reason. So I'd rather have this plugged into a wall socket and then I can plug my own stuff into the bottom here. It's worth getting if you want high speed charging, and it at least gives you 3 ports. I also plug my cameras into this thing as well because it'll charge the camera batteries a lot faster. That's another reason why I got 2 of them. One for all my kind of stuff, and then the other one's for camera charging. Okay, now something a little bit smaller. So this from Anker, this is a USB card reader. And again, really simple. It's a USB-C on one end, and then it's got a micro USB card and then a regular size SD card on the top here. And I'll leave links to all this stuff down below so you can research it yourself. But I'm just telling you that this is really easy to throw in your bag. I got a second one because I keep one in the house and one in my bag. And this will plug in to your iPad, or you can plug it into your phone, and then you can pull content off your cameras right into this device and import them right to your phone. It just makes things really easy to move files around without having to use over the air kind of stuff. Okay, now here's the big boy here that I got. This is, and I got to cheat here off the notes because I got 2 different versions of them. The first version I got, which we're actually using one of these to power the camera and the monitor that I'm using to film myself with. This little brick, something this big, will power all these devices. Both versions will give you 2 USB-C ports and then a USB-A port here as well. I wish they made one with 3 USB-Cs because everything's switching to USB-C. And if you need USB-A, you can get a little converter. But for whatever reason, they're still giving you the ability to handle this kind of legacy connection as well. So the first one I bought is a 27,650 milliamp. So it's a little bit thicker of a brick. It's a 250 watt portable charger. It's TSA approved. There's a smart app, so you can connect it to an app and get Bluetooth stats from your device. You can also control the device a little bit on what you want charged or how you want to manage your power, but that's really not necessary. But again, it's a really big power bank. So 27,650 milliwatt amp hours. It's two plus of these. And then I picked up another one. This one's a little bit slimmer, but this is 26,250 milliamp hours. So it's roughly 1,000 less. But this one will give you 300 watts of max output versus the other one, which was 250 watts max output. 50 watts may or may not make a difference in your world, but for me, this one here is a little bit slimmer, a little bit more lightweight, and has more output. But still, it's got the 2 USB-Cs and 1 USB-A. Also has a beautiful display on the outside. And then as you plug stuff into this, you'll get a display that will show you what the output is that this is actually using. And you can cycle through these displays as well. It'll give you different information about your charging stats and things like that. And then the temperature of the battery, if it's safe or not, or if it's overheating. You're getting a lot of information that you can also apparently get on the app. The first way I use these is I went to Disneyland and I just threw one of these in my backpack with 2 cables. You can charge all your stuff. So you can keep your cameras charged. You can keep your phone charged if you're not using one of these. You can charge other people's phones. You can just make sure that you're never out of power. So this was really clutch at Disney. The other thing is I will use this on road trips, charging my cameras. So let's say you're at one location point. I'll be taking pictures and then I'll be in the car on a little road trip or whatever, and I'll want to take pictures at the next destination. Instead of swapping out batteries while I'm driving, I'll just plug my camera into this and it'll charge my camera pretty quick with one of these. The third way I use this when traveling is, let's say you're staying at somebody's house and you're in a guest room, or you're staying at a hotel and there's not really convenient plugs. Have you ever been to a hotel and they give you that little nightstand and they give you maybe one outlet to plug your stuff into, or it's not working? This will be great because you can have this next to your on the nightstand and you can plug all your devices into this. And therefore you're not moving furniture around or you need a bigger cord or anything like that. This is pretty mobile and it'll last for days. So that's really cool as well. So that's how I kind of use these batteries. And I find really that for putting this in your camera bag or putting this in your backpack, if you're traveling around, having one of these is really great. And because it can charge things so fast and you can charge multiple things at the same time, this is just a really great option to have. Now, completely optional in my mind, but I picked one up anyway, is this ANKER base station. So what this does is these old chargers on the bottom have a connector. And what this does is it magnetically connects. It'll be something like this. Now this has a little display on it as well. The nice thing about this is it charges this battery pretty quick. This is a 100-watt charging base station. And then it'll charge either one of these power banks and this fits on here. What's nice is this will give you the percentage of charge on this screen here. So you'll know when your charging's done. You might be able to set up things in your Bluetooth as well. I haven't fiddled around with the Bluetooth app, so maybe you get a notification when things are charged. But then the other nice thing is this base station also gives you some USB outputs as well. So if you want to have a little charging station. You can set this up, and then you can plug devices into this base station as well if you need to. The other nice thing about this brick is as this is charging, it can output charge as well. If you're charging this device on the base station, you can then charge devices going out. So you can daisy chain things together or link things together. So you're charging this, you're charging your other devices, and you can just create a loop. Same thing if you're plugging this into a wall. So if you have a USB into this where you're going to be charging this device, you can take a USB out of this and charge another device and pass through charging that way. So that's just really convenient to have. Now, you have all this power coming out of these things. The nice thing about this, it will tell you what kind of cable you're using. So it'll tell you the limitations of the cable. Now you might want to pick up one of these or pick up a few of these. Now the charger comes with a short cable, but if you want something bigger, this is a 6-foot long cable. And this is a 240 watt maximum power output cable by ANKER. Now you have a high-speed charging cable and a high-speed charger. Now you're just limited by the device you're trying to charge into. So you don't have any bottlenecks between the charging and using maybe a lower power rated cable. You can just plug directly in. 240 watts is a lot of power going through this cable. And then the only limitation is going to be whatever your device you're trying to charge. A laptop, for example, will take a lot more power than an iPhone. Same thing with an iPad or a camera. The system, whatever you're charging, will limit the power input. So it's smart enough to do that, but you're not limited by your cable. That is just a really quick video on some of these ANKER products that I thought were pretty cool. And now we're all going to be traveling for the holidays, most likely. I highly recommend that you pick one of these up, especially this thing. And I would say this little brick charger. These are going to be really indispensable. Now, this video is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. ANKER doesn't know who I am, but I do have Amazon affiliate links below. So if you want to help out the channel and buy through those links, that'll help me out a little bit. And the other thing is I'm going to please ask you to subscribe to this channel if you feel like I brought you value today. I am putting a lot more time and energy into this channel. I'm trying to grow the audience base. And so I'm dedicating a lot more of my unexpected free time into creating more content on a more regular basis. So I'm trying to crank out at least maybe 2, if not 3 videos a week. I'm going to try to get to that if I can. But I appreciate all of you, and we'll talk soon. Take care.